Hi everyone, welcome to this video. We are going to be doing a clearing using the spiritual response therapy system today on depression and anxiety. So anyone that's watching this, this is a group clearing with the intention set for it to clear any programs, beliefs, blockages, memories, feelings on depression and anxiety that are contributing towards depression and anxiety for you if you're watching. Obviously, it's always better to have a personal clearing, a set of clearings done, a package of clearings done, because then you're much more likely to shift a lot more at a personal basis. But this is for those at the moment, especially with all these lockdowns going on in the world when this is recorded, which is January 2021. We're going to do a clearing on depression and anxiety for anybody watching this using the spiritual response therapy team. So first of all, we're going to see what's the depression anxiety running at for all those who are watching this. This is 0% positive, 100% negative. And where's it sitting in terms of consciousness? For all those that are watching this, we're at Christ consciousness level. So we're just going to ask the high self team that are working with me, or the God team that's working with me on this occasion, to do an initial clearing for all those that are watching this of any depression and anxiety that's running within you now. So you may wonder how this is working when you're just watching it on YouTube, but it's working at a quantum level. So those that have being drawn to watching this may have some depression, anxiety running, and may not even be aware of it, but it is running and it will be clearing something away from you. So we're just clearing away. So I work with the high self team and various other spiritual committees. Today I'm working actually with the God team, which consists of 2 or 3 members using the spiritual response therapy method, which came from America originally. Robert Detzler created it, Robert E. Detzler. And I've found this working with clients over the years an extremely effective way of clearing programs in our subconscious mind and energy systems. So we're still clearing away at the moment. So this is a live clearing, although it's recorded when you watch it. It's a live clearing of all those that are tuning in. So this is why the clearing is such a big clearing going on. And I work with the teams on the other side of life. They have 200 plus charts. I have about 35 charts, something like that I use. So we're just going to go through there, and you may be able to feel subtle changes with the energy there. Let's have a look and see what needs to be cleared first. And what are we going to first? Chart 1, and then taken to a spiritual kick. So we're giving a spiritual kick to all those watching this, and the spiritual kick is a bit like it's a bit like being given a kick up the backside to get rid of something, you know, come on, snap out of it. It's that kind of thing. So that's what they're being given right now, a spiritual kick, if you're watching this, to get your energy systems to move on from holding on to the depression, anxiety. And where are we going next? We're going to chart 6A next, and that's about master programs and discordant energy, chart 6A. So as we move into that, outside left, we've got fear coming up. We've got feelings of powerlessness coming up. Outside right, we've got unforgiveness coming up. And do they have past life roots? Yes, they do. Do they have ancestral roots? We're getting no for this because it's a group clearing. Do we have to investigate any past lives? No, it's going to be difficult if it's for a group clearing. Can we just clear this? Yeah. Do we need to know how many levels of consciousness it's running at this time for the group clearing? We don't. So we're just going to ask the teams now to clear all that powerlessness, all that fear, and all that unforgiveness that's running there for whoever's tuning into this group clearing. And it's clearing quite a lot there away. Again, you may feel things being subtly shifted. Depends how sensitive you are with the energy. With all these clearings, some people feel the changes acutely. Some people barely notice any difference to start with. But in my experience, they always work. And certainly long term, there are shifts. You can always trace it back to when the clearing was done. And it's a bit like, I find that when you have quite a few of these clearings, it's a bit like taking the thoughts that go in your head is a bit like a motorway. It's a bit like changing from a motorway to a B road. The highway of thoughts become much quieter. I find that's great. So that's shifted there. And where else are we going? We're gonna go back to the same chart again. Actually, there's more on there. Okay, what are we clearing this time for people in this group? Outside left, frustration, outside left. Feelings of insanity. Doesn't mean you're insane, it's just that those feelings of insanity, we're all insane at a level because we've forgotten that we're all source energy, aren't we? So is there a past life route to these? Yeah. And do we need to research anything to clear it? No. Okay, so let's clear all of that from those people watching. Sometimes that insanity comes from other lifetimes. If you're a believer in other lifetimes there, and you've for some reason brought some of it in, some of that ancestral or other lifetime energy into this lifetime for whatever reason, and it's manifesting as depression and anxiety at an energetic level. That's it. So hopefully we'll notice a bit of a difference with that. Where are we going next? So then we're going to the next chart there, blocks to positive expression, and we're clearing inside left, blocks to gentleness, inside left, blocks to determination. Any other blocks there? No, so let's clear those away as well while we're there. Clearing those blocks away. So the great thing about some of these group clearings is that if you're tuning into it, then you can get just as many benefits from it at a quantum level, allowing yourself to just tune in and obviously hear what's coming up and see if it resonates with you. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. There's nothing quite like personal clearings. They're very powerful ones there. So it's always worth having a look at those, and we've got more to clear there. So this has been very thorough. So inside left, block to endurance. So let's clear that block to endurance for everyone on this group as well. So this is a fantastic system. It was set up sometime in the 80s originally and then added to over the years by Robert Gettr. I won't go into the whole history of it, but he put together this whole system, which is actually based on the Old Testament, I think, originally. And the true spiritual meanings and some of the metaphorical meanings held within the Old Testament, as well as some of the New Testament as well. So it's quite fascinating. It's in its content. It's complex, it's spiritual, and I've found it to be highly effective in moving people's energy along and really shifting things quite dramatically at times. Sometimes you don't notice much of a difference. It depends how many layers you're holding, and sometimes there's a huge difference and you just feel different. You just feel different. You feel quieter. You don't react in the same way. I've had spontaneous tears coming up, and then other times you just know something's shifted and you can't always put your finger on it, but it always works. It's fantastic. It's a very effective system. Where are we going next then? We're going to 10A next. So this is miscellaneous blocks we're going to, and this is held at God level. God level is not the top in the system. It used to be once upon a time, but because spirit is always, so we're clearing the cellular memory now, clearing the cellular memory. When this system was originally put together on this side of life, then, you know, that God level was the very top, the pinnacle. But because we're expanding our consciousness and learning and feeding back to the Great Spirit is expanding its consciousness and learning. And so we've got higher and higher levels on above that level now, above that God level. We typically see God as all it is, but it, you know, source is all it is, but source is always expanding, always learning because of all our experiences. So we're all source energy. So is there anything else on here? No? Okay. And we're going to 12. And 12 is spirit energy programming, and that's situated at Queen of Life level of the soul. And it's dysfunction of spirit by thought. Is that it? So let's clear all dysfunction of spirit by thought. So this is a very general clearing for everybody tuning into this. But hopefully it will help to lift you in some way. If you feel drawn to watch this video, then there's a reason for that. Nothing happens by chance in our consciousness. If it can help, then that's wonderful. If you need more in-depth help, then obviously a one-to-one session with me or a professional SRT package of clearings will always help. So 10B, so programs created by spirit. This chart is great. This is the first line of programming, so it's the most effective. Infinite levels before thought. So we're clearing all depths and depths, levels, ranges, limitations, everything everywhere with those infinite levels before thought. So we're at much, much higher levels of programming using this system. So we're not just clearing at a bodily level, a physical level, we're clearing in various energy systems and energy bodies way above that as well. So there's quite a bit of clearing there. I don't know if you can feel that. Certainly taking its time. That's it. Okay. And let's continue with this. Where are we going next? Chart 13. Chart 13, which is about programs before creation. So we're at King of Kings level. These are all expressions of the soul before the soul is actually created. Levels 7 and 8. This is referring to charts on the other side of life, fire, planet, energy, creator programming there. So let's just clear all of those as well in this group clearing. We're not going into any detail here. We're just doing a general clearing on depression and anxiety for whoever's watching. We can be more specific and ask more specific questions when we're doing individual clearings. And if you check on my details, you'll find links to my website. And I also have 2 courses on Udemy. There's also links, obviously, I think there'll be links I'll put on this video and also down below in the details that will help you if you want some meditations to help identify and clear your own blocks and programming and feelings there and help you to grow. There's a course, 2 courses I have, part 1 and part 2 on Udemy, which help you to do that. Meditation courses. They're about 30 minutes with each video, and there's 6 or 7 videos, I think, on each. So, and I think it's about £20 or just under. There. And that's definitely worth getting. It's another way of approaching these things. So we're doing really well here. So we're going to final items, this one universe. So let's have a look and see what's coming up on this one here. 13 bodies and 36 minds. Past lives that the soul doesn't want to examine. So let's get those all cleared as well. We don't need to research any of these. We've been given the opportunity to just clear them away. I'm not going to go into too much detail with some of the stuff that's coming up, but more just ask you to sit there and watch or listen and feel the benefit. Okay. Where are we going next? Final forgiveness. So let's clear the Godhead plans. And memory's the master key. Clearing the void. Let's get all those cleared as well. So this is just going to be a short clearing. But it'll give the energy a bit of a boost, a bit of a move in the right direction, clear some of those programs and blocks that are in the way. But if you do have depression and anxiety that you want to identify the root cause of and start to really shift it, then please do get in touch with me. Obviously, I have to say, contact a doctor as always. They'll always refer you to professional help, but I'm not about papering over cracks or coping strategies. I'm all about getting to root causes. And identifying them, healing them, integrating them, loving them, whatever it is that we have to do. Sometimes just understanding them is enough. Sometimes they're just part of lessons that the soul wants to experience and learn from. Okay, so can we now go to mop-up? So that's a very brief, because we basically in, let's go to mop-up, please. So basically in a personal clearing, what we would do is go through the individual energy bodies as well, and ask some other questions and have a look at various other things and be a little bit more specific. And we also go through a more thorough mop-up process as well. I have a long list of questions that I instruct the teams that I'm working with to go through as well. And obviously it's always going to be more powerful when you're doing it for directly on the client or on yourself. This is just a very brief group clearing, and it gives you a taster, and it's clearing depression and anxiety, certainly at a surface level, and helping you to move things along. Sometimes this is all that's needed, just to give that person the lift. It's amazing what can be cleared, because the bulk of the clearing is done by the teams that I work with on the other side of life. And ideally, we want everything to be at 100% positive, 0% negative in this system, using this system. And we want it to operate from radiant love, new paradigm level as a minimum. And we started off with 0% positive and 100% negative, remember? And it was down at, I think, was at Christ consciousness level. So it was quite low in terms of this system where we want it to operate from. Sounds high, but it isn't in the system. Okay, so is the mop-up complete? Yes, let's have a look where we are now. Positive is very clearly a much lighter, 100% positive, and now it's 0% negative. And on this system now, is it on this page? No. So where is it now? And it's up here. So it's at Radiant Love New Paradigm level up here now. So we're much higher. So we have the incarnational level down here, incarnational level. This was where the Godhead, this is where the Godhead is, and this is where it used to be the top when the system first came out. But because we keep learning, the soul's around this area here, and these are all the different levels of consciousness there. But because it's expanded so much in the last 20 odd years, we've gone on to a second page and we have all of these levels here. This is Radiant Love New Paradigm, and then it's gone something like 120 something feet, maybe further off the page as well. So that's how much spirit is expanding and expanding with all the shifts in consciousness going on. So that is the overview, a brief group clearing for depression and anxiety using the spiritual response therapy system, the SRT system. Very, very brief, very, very much a light overview. Details below if you want to investigate further and have more of a personal session. But I hope it helps you anyway. And there are more to come. Do check out my other clearings. Bye.